Hi everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Jorge Muñiz Ortiz. Um, I'm actually a scientist with the United States Environmental Protection Agency, and I met Lexa a few years ago back in Durham, North Carolina. And she asked me to help her with a project. So uh, I volunteered, and so this is the video that I'm making for her regarding her question and her request. She told me that she's going to go over the book When I Was Puerto Rican by Esmeralda Santiago. I I ran into that book many years ago. I don't remember finishing reading the book, but I do know that that book is really impactful, especially for people who who came from the island to live in the here in the United States. I currently live in Arlington, Virginia, since I work for the U.S. government. So I've been living in the United States since 1998. When I graduated high school, I went straight to Ohio to study at the University of Dayton, and then I went to the University of Cincinnati for a while. Then I wound up in North Carolina for 4 years and a half, and then I moved here in 2013 to Virginia to work for the U.S. government. So I've been here for a while. I guess I've been here now, probably longer than I was like, growing up in Puerto Rico. So so I guess I could speak as a first person. Um, I guess I'm looking for the word witness of what it means to grow up in the island and then move here at a young age. I wasn't that young. I was 17 when I moved here. So I had plenty of time to grow up in the island and absorb some of the culture. So for me, um, I spent 17 years of my life, 15 years of my life in Puerto Rico, because two of them I spent in Miami when I was younger. Um, but to me, being able to absorb the culture of the island first and know what common practices are between the people and within the people, so like playing dominoes or listening to plena music, bomba and plena music, listening to salsa, learning how to dance salsa, listening to what we called underground at the beginning in the 90s and then reggaeton now. You sort of absorb that all those things that are different from other cultures and bring them here to the States with you. I think it's hard unless you do it on purpose to not bring some part of that culture with you, and express it and exercise it amongst your friends so that it actually people can get to know what the Puerto Rican culture is like. Um, it's a part of you, so you never forget where you're from. You never forget your family, especially if you have family back at home that always tell you what's going on the island. So for me, actually reading the Puerto Rican newspaper is sort of important too, so that I stay in touch with what's going on in the island. So it's not only what I bring, but it's also my interest in knowing what's going on since I still have family there. So you, unless you do it on purpose, where you don't want to practice anything that has to do with Puerto Rican culture because you first maybe not like it, or you're just not interested, or to you cultures and traditions or and practices are not important, then that happens too. I've met I met some people that go through that too, that don't want to feel as if they're like different than the majority of the people here, so they don't practice that. I'm not in that vein. I have art made in Puerto Rico all over my house. Um, my wife is into the Puerto Rican culture. She's of Cuban descent. She's Cuban American. So we basically share the Cuban and Puerto Rican cultures here at home, which are not that different anyway. Um, so that's as far as what I what I what I wanted to talk about. I also feel like growing up, not only growing up in the island, but being here so many years, you get to actually get to know other cultures, especially many other Latin American cultures. I've met people from I think every Latin American country, and everybody has their own cultural traditions, practices um, that you respect and you see being practiced by those other cultures, and you become sort of knowledgeable about all those other cultures, and you become appreciative of your own culture, but you also come to appreciate those other ones. Uh, you know, the beginnings of Latin America are usually from the same fruit or from the same seed, and so you see your culture reflected in theirs. I mean, we all speak Spanish, so that's one thing that unites us, and that's something that I've learned since I've been coming to this country for 20 some years now, that the Latin American culture is really diverse, and that's why we call the music the salsa music, because it's a huge sauce made of different condiments. So every Latin American culture brings their own thing into it, and that's part of the thing that I love about the Puerto Rican culture and the Latin American culture. Um, I'm reading Alexa's Facebook message so that I can address all her points. So how do we build community from outside the island? I've been lucky enough to live in cities that have some kind of Puerto Rican population. I think Raleigh might have been the one with the least amount of people. Surprisingly, Ohio had a lot of people because there's some Air Force base there, and a lot of engineers are graduates from the University of Mayagüez. Um, and so there was a huge Puerto Rican community in Ohio, and they did the same thing. We had Puerto Rican Bomba en Plena dance group that I was part of, and I used to dance with them. And there was also a music group made up of Puerto Ricans who used to play el cuatro and a lot of Christmas traditional music. There was always pasteles around, alcapurrias, lechon, many other foods. So we brought that culture from the island, and wherever you go, you're gonna meet Puerto Ricans, and you're gonna enjoy that Puerto Ricanness, I guess I want to call it, in wherever you live. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Washington D.C., and there's never a situation or a party or some kind of event where Puerto Ricans do not go that have to do with Puerto Rico or anything that has to do with Latino Americans or Hispanics. So I've never had a problem finding Puerto Ricans around here, and we all celebrate the culture in our own way, or if it's in a group, we all get together and play salsa, play dominoes or something. There's always something good to do around here. Um, now I'm gonna get into the songs. So Lexa asked me to talk about En mi viejo San Juan, Preciosa, and Calma. Let me go one by one. And this video might be longer than 10 minutes, but I'm gonna try not to belabor the theme too much. En mi viejo San Juan, I have a personal experience with it because my uncle used to play it a lot, and we used to listen to it. And I used to spend my high school days in El Viejo San Juan regularmente, almost every single day. I loved being in El Morro. My parents used to take me and my brother kite flying in El Morro. And then growing up, when I was able to drive, I would drive to San Juan many nights just to walk around. It was being that it was so romantic, I would take my girlfriends there. And we would just walk around, drink a little bit, and spend some time at night in El Morro because it was so beautiful. So whenever I hear the song, it brings me back to all those good memories that I had with my parents and my friends, my girlfriends and my brother, my family. So it has a really deep meaning to me, and I like to play it every so often. And I don't like it when people don't do a good version of it. So Jose Feliciano has a great version of it. My uncle, of course, has some versions on YouTube. And whenever I listen, I hear it. I want to sing it and dance to it, just take it easy with it. Just mellow out and listen to the song because it's so beautiful. Preciosa was written many years ago by Rafael Hernandez, if I'm not mistaken, and Marc Anthony really made a really great version of it back in when they were doing those Banco Popular videos, and it's a beautiful song. I don't want to take anything away from it. I don't know if it gives me the same goosebumps that Mi Viejo San Juan does. but it describes the island to the T. The other song that I like about Puerto Rico is Verde Luz del Topo, Antonio Cabambale, and that to me is like the second hymn of Puerto Rico. So that one to me is more significant. But Preciosa is just beautiful. Just the way that Mark Anthony sang it. I think it's in the top five of my favorite songs about Puerto Rico. One other song that Lexa didn't mention that I love, the Puerto Rico was, I'm trying to remember right now because I just had it in my head. Oh, Boricua en la Luna, especially the one that Roy Brown sings in the live concert de Los Fieles de la Fiel a la Vega. I think that concert was in the late 1990s. So that song to me is really important, and I know you didn't ask about this song, Lexa, but I wasn't born in Puerto Rico. I was born in Medellin, Colombia, and Roy Brown was not born in Puerto Rico either. He became like Tony Croato, a Puerto Rican by adoption, which is what happened to me. And to me, that song allows me to declare the Puerto Rican culture as my culture, not only because I grew up there, but because the fact that you could be born on the moon and still declare yourself Puerto Rican, and it's not a problem to anybody. I've met many people that have never been born in Puerto Rico that grew up there who feel the same way. Many other adoptees from Colombia, and just people who love the Puerto Rican culture, who practice it and respect it, because that's important. It's the respect of somebody else's culture that allows you to love your own culture. Um, the other song, Calma, I've heard that it's made a big deal in the island. I listened to the Farruko version, I listened to Pedro's version, and I listened to the one with Alicia Keys and Farruko. It's an okay song. It doesn't drive me to the island. It doesn't. I drink medalla. Whenever I go to the island, I bring a 6 pack over or something that has to do with medalla, 6 pack or 24 pack. I've actually brought two 24 packs before, um, and I love the beach, and I usually go to the beach. So I try to go to the island regularly so that I don't have to miss those things. Um, I think mostly that song is mostly for the newcomers. I know a lot of people left the island after Hurricane Maria, and so I know that there's a lot of uh, homesickness that happens, especially those that may not have friends here, may not have family here, and so those songs, also from Manolo. I don't know if it's Manolo Ramos, but those songs are for the newcomers that come here and don't have anything, any friends or any family, um, and they understand the struggles of how to make it here. It's coming to the States. It's not like you're handed a plate full of everything, full of money, full of a job, a home, an apartment. You have to get those. You have to find those. You have to find a job to be able to take care of everything that you need to take care of, especially if you have a family. And those are things that some people in Puerto Rico have never experienced. And so coming here to a new land, they miss the niceties of the island, of the beach, missing the friends, missing the family, missing, um, just enjoying having a fun time outside wherever you went to. And so those songs, to me, for the newcomers, might help them understand, might help them feel better that somebody understands their feelings and they're singing about it. Um, so I mean, now that I've been here for 22 years, I know what I'm missing, and there's really not much I can do about it except go to the island and enjoy it whenever I get the chance. But that's what Mi Viejo San Juan does to me. It's because I listened to it as a kid, and it brings me back to my childhood. The new songs don't do that too much because I already know. And I feel for those that came here because of the hurricane, because it's not a situation that it shouldn't be the situation that drives you away from the island or away from your family, away from the medalla, away from the beach, away from your girlfriends, your wives, those you love. But that happened, and it's understood that those feelings can happen. And I empathize with those people, with those Puerto Ricans that have left. But you leave the island with your culture inside you, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to practice it away or you want to keep it inside. and not want to make people feel uncomfortable by expressing it, that's understandable. But if you feel the need to express your culture, please don't hold back. Put your reggaeton on your car pretty loud. Put the salsa on really loud in your car. Do a domino tournament outside of your front porch or your back porch, wherever. Play plena any time of the day. I've done that before, and I don't care who gets uncomfortable about it. That's who I am, and I'm not changing for anybody. So I think hopefully I've addressed everything that Lexa wanted, and Lexa knows how to contact me if you have any questions. Um, but nothing changes just because I left the island. I haven't changed. I've understood my culture more than now that I'm outside. But I don't let anything prevent me from exercising it. So, my name is Jorge Muñiz. That's a map of the island right there. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much. Bye.